Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Today, what about if I told you that you were able to improve your contact center with just adding a video chat and improving even your costs? So today, I will be talking about how you can improve just customer engagement, adding this video chat into your contact center. But first, let's introduce ourselves. I am Enid Zambrano, and I'm Amazon Connect Specialist Solution Architect at AWS. I have been working with contact center, evolving there for over 25 years. I hope nobody's making numbers today about that. And I've been working and have the opportunity to be in the financial sector, telecommunications, and now in the public sector itself. So as you recall about those rotary phones, so I have been able to engage in the contact centers evolving from analog to digital to voice over IP and now into the cloud for the contact center. I'm very glad to be here today and help you with your contact center journey. Now, Joe.
Hey everybody, Joe Trelli, Senior Solutions Architect for Amazon Chime SDK. Haven't been quite 25 years in the industry, but probably around 15. In telephony, voice, video, live streaming, all those fun things. And excited to talk about how Amazon Connect and Amazon Chime SDK can work together or independently.
Thank you, Joe. Mm-hmm. And before we start, I would like to let you know what we will be doing today. So we will start with the demo, where I will show you how you can have this video interaction in your contact center, and how this one is powered by Amazon Connect, which is an omni-channel contact center, and the video by Amazon Chime SDK. For those more technical in the room, we will be going deeper in the architecture, how this works, and how it will help you in your contact center. At the end of the session, you will have the opportunity to ask questions, so please be interactive, and we're looking for those questions at the end of the session. So before going to the demo, I would like to explain the use case we will be presenting today. We have divided the demo in two personas. The first persona is the customer, who will be Joe, and he would like to renew his license, but he doesn't really want to go to the office to do it. So he goes online, do the renewal of the license, and the last step is to identify that Joe is the really Joe that's looking to do that and renew that license. So the agent will be ready, which will be myself and it, and will know the information about Joe before even get and have that interaction with him, that he's renewing his license, information that you might need about Joe, so you can have a more personalized information there. And at the same time, with a unique interface, be able to do chat, video, or any of the interactions that require through this demo itself. So what you will see in the demo, you will see it on your left. It will be a website, so a similar website. In this case, we're just adding the AWS Summit. But this will be like your website in your organization, where he will start the chat and those interactions. He will be already authenticated. And then when he's ready to go into the agent, it will be putting in a queue. And when he's in the queue, the agent will be ready to answer that interaction and finalize that identification of his identity. So you see in the demo, as I mentioned before, you have the customer screen to your left, and you have the agent screen to the right. In the customer screen, it's basically, it will be your regular website. You can embed that, the information that you need, like chat, what you will need to be doing. You will be able to even authenticate your user and gather information that you would like to pass to your agent. The agent that is to the right, this is a unified agent desktop where you can have all the interactions that you need with your customer, either voice, chat, even task. For those not familiar with tasks, this is another channel where you're able to do queues and have interactions like activities that you would like your agent to do. For example, you would like to have some results for some customer surveys, or you want to have some email interactions and so on. We have the video piece as well added here. And Joe is going to start the authentication in the site. And you see how, in this case, we're just adding his name and his email address, but this is when you authenticate within your own website. Then, after that, when he clicks continue, it will be a chat window coming up. And again, this is for the demo, so this really depends on the process that you have for your customers to follow. In this chat, you are able to add, for example, some personalized messages like, hello, Joe, thank you for coming to the AWS Summit, as we're saying here. And then he will be putting in a queue. However, if you would like to do some self-services before he's in contact with the agent, you're able to do it. Like, for example, add more information that you will need, like dates of birth or any key information that you need for renewing that license. Now the agent in need is going to be available, and Joe will be assigned to the next available agent. And you will see when you set this interaction how you can have all the history, all the information that Joe was doing before getting into the chat. When that's getting, you can have a personalized greeting like, hello, Joe, I know that you're renewing your license, and we'll be doing the next steps. Here in this agent desktop, you can see we have the contact control panel, that is the CCP, that allows you to do all that interaction. But also we have embedded to the right, you can see all the information about how to do the video conferences and so on. So let's see how that chat goes. And right now it's just getting the greeting. I will be telling Joe that we will need to do some video conference, asking for his permission to do it. And when he's ready, we will start that interaction. When we do that interaction itself, you're also able, for example, if Joe was in the website and he didn't have time right now to interact with an agent for his identity, you can, for example, schedule that interaction in the video. So you can have, for example, the meeting ID that we're seeing there, and had it there, and ensure that we have the same interaction and the history of what he did, and it can be scheduled for another day or another time when he is available. So we start the video conference now, just clicking on the start. And when we do that, you will see you will have a window in the agent desktop to start this interaction, and you're able to control when you're doing the video or not. So you will see it in a minute. And then I give the instructions to Joe, so you can see to the left how Joe is interacting. You need to allow, all your video interaction. You can adjust your settings to have this video itself. Then now, when the interaction is coming, I will put my video. Joe will be able to turn it on or off when he's required. Each of us, as an agent or a customer, are able to go and do it. So when you're doing this video conferencing, you can still be doing your chat interaction. So you have, a unified interface where the interaction can keep going. You can be doing your voice and your video at the same time. So you can see how, as an omni-channel, you're able to have all these channels on it. And then when we're doing that as well, I can send some information to Joe. Let's see, I would like that you confirm in the website some information before we completed this action. So we send a link. In this case, we're seeing the Amazon Connect link, but that will be, your website where Joe is already authenticated and just probably filling in additional information that we need to confirm to renew his license. Once that is completed, I will go and I can have other information on my contact control panel and the agent desktop additional. For example, his picture. So I have something in file I can compare. This is really Joe who's calling? I think it looks like, right? So you're able to compare and say, yes, I can confirm your identity based on the information that we have in our records. And then after all of this, then we can conclude our interaction. So we can say, thank you for calling. I have confirmed the information that you have. And then Joe will confirm if he needs to do something else. Let's see what he says. So he's happy with the interaction. And he really liked that he didn't have to come to the office to do the interaction itself, right? At the point we conclude interaction, with a happy customer right here. And we also can have some more personalized icons. Like, for example, if your process allows you to do like emojis, you're able to add it there. This is all out of the box with your chat window. Once the interaction complete, the agent in this case has control of the video conferencing. So we finish the video conference. You can continue the chat if there is anything else that they would like to continue to be interacting with. And then after that, you will be just going to after chat work, as usually you do with voice as well. And the agent will be able to do any activities that we'll need to do after that interaction itself. Then we concluded, and we finalized the interaction at that point. And this concludes the demo itself. I would like to show you how that works. And so you can see how Amazon Connect is a truly omni-channel contact center. We allow you to do all these channels, voice, chat, task, even video embedded with the system. So how many in the room are familiar with Amazon Connect? Could you raise your hand? Okay, just a few. But if you're not, you will be able to know now what Amazon Connect is, what the main capabilities are, and how you're able to use it for your contact center in your organization. Amazon Connect, as we have been mentioning, being an omni-channel contact center, you're able to deliver exceptional experience to your customers, which are dynamic, personalized, as we showed you, and even some natural language when you're using them. You're able to have the right agent at the right time, as you are been doing a skill-based routing. So based on what the customer is calling for, on content they ask for, you'll be able to maximize the efficiency of your agent and also the satisfaction to your customers themselves. And all of these on these channels like voice, chat, you're able to record them and review them afterwards with real-time reportings or post-call analytics reporting. So you can monitor the quality of your services in your contact centers. And not only that, you also have a good quality on the voice, and your agent only needs to be in an internet connection with a USB headset and virtually anywhere to have the services to your customers. Now, when we're talking about the contact center, you're also able to do a lot of automations with all these channels, voice, chat, task, and as we showed you today, even integrations with video within that unified interface. And we're doing all of that. Also, you are able to do researching. So, and today, as the agent, we'll be able to research information about Joe in real time. This is powered by Amazon Connect Wisdom, which allows you to add all the repositories like wikis or other systems that you have information and add it just there in the agent desktop for the agent to provide a better service. Also, what about authentication? So we can forget about just having that login and password. We can just check their voice and authenticate them. This is powered by Amazon Connect Voice ID, which allows you to have a more interactive and secure authentication with your customers. And all of that coming with also reporting, how we know what's happening on our calls, sentiment analysis, what is going well that we would like to repeat on other systems or other agents' interactions. With Contact Lens, which is a machine learning capability, you're able to check in real time what's happening, take actions right away, and have a better service there. And with this automation also, you have customer profiles. So with the customer profiles, you're able to have the information on all your customers in only one place. And this is just out of the box on your contact control panel, your agent desktop, where you have information coming from different systems. For example, CRM, custom relationship management systems, or even other systems that you might have. This is powered by customer profiles within Amazon Connect. And it's very flexible. So you can scale up and down with your Amazon Connect systems. You're able to pay only what you use. And when you're doing all of this, you're able to have, for example, your data, how you would like to report that. And with all this data, we can have real-time reporting, historical reporting. And if you would like to stream the data to another repository like Business Intelligence Dashboard, you can do it. For example, Amazon website or Tableau. If you have information from other systems that you would like to compile together. So that said also, you saw today how we integrated with other AWS services as Amazon Chime SDK is. And you have the video, so you're able to do and improve your call center with other services. And when you do that, you can do AWS services, or you can use, for example, partners in the marketplace that you can have pre-built solutions to improve your contact center itself. So, as you can see, Amazon Connect can deliver the complete contact center. As you think about the last time that you built a contact center, or you adding a new product to legacy contact center, do you have any challenges just doing testing and at the end wasn't doing what you were expecting to do? Anyone in the room has experience in not only for your call center, but probably with other systems? Well, those are challenges for you. So with Amazon Connect, you're able to scale up and down. You can do the testing as much as you want. You configure. If that doesn't work for you, you can just remove the configuration and start a new one. And you're just paying the small workflow that you have been working with. And this not only allows you to do that, but being an open platform, you can use APIs, application programming interface, which allows you to do that connection with other systems and increase and expand all of those services that you have for your contact center. As we mentioned before, we have reporting, real time, historical reports, and you can stream the data to these BI dashboards that you would like to be using on it. And last but not least is that integration with other AWS services, and also to have those partners in marketplace that we mentioned. And what we used today was Amazon Chime SDK. And Joe is going to be talking more about Amazon Chime SDK, how this is integrated with a contact center and other services as well. Joe?
Thank you. Hey, everybody. I didn't imagine how kind of odd it would be to have my face when we edited that video here. So apologies for. So we were talking about Amazon Connect, and now we're talking about Amazon Chime SDK. So just to level set a little bit, what is an SDK? Not everyone might know. Software Development Kit. And we're going to get into a little bit of what that means. So how many folks in the room have used Slack before? Or at least heard of it? Okay, quite a bit. How many have used the new huddles feature in the bottom kind of left, and you click the little button and you can join into a voice or video or voice chat for now and content share? No, not yet. So it's a newer feature of Slack, but that's actually powered by the Amazon Chime SDK. Globally for all their customers, they're doing a lot of great work on it. So it's pretty cool. But that's not the only use case, of course. There's lots of use cases where embedding real-time voice and video into an application is important or helpful or drives your business forward. So remote health and fitness, which is MindBody, I'll talk about in a second. Distance learning, focus groups, unified communications. That's just a kind of fancy way to say collaboration apps, which I'm sure all of us have used a lot over the last few years. And Amazon Chime SDK can be used to power those as well. So just quickly on MindBody, you see that logo up there. So MindBody was actually one of my personal customers, and they're a business to help health and fitness or health and wellness of their customers who have studios. For example, a yoga studio who wants to do these classes. It was formerly in person. Once the pandemic hit, they needed to regroup and figure out how do we keep this business going. So they were able to use the Amazon Chime SDK, build voice and video, a real-time interaction, and have these virtual classes up to 250 people in a class. So right in the same app that the folks who are in the yoga studio were used to using to control their accounting or billing or those type of things. And that's the theme you'll see here in the next couple slides about the Amazon Chime SDK. Is it's about using your app. It's not about having your customers move to a different app to be able to communicate. So that's all great, but what the heck is it, right? It's essentially comprised of 3 different features or subservices within our service called Amazon Chime SDK. And at Amazon Web Services, we talk about we build for builders. It's a builder service, so it's comprised of API-driven sort of events. We have PSTN audio, I'll talk about in a second, where you can build telephony into apps and messaging. So on the media front, on the it's WebRTC video, so you get voice, video, and content share. It's a pay-as-you-go, minute per minute solution. So it's just use what you use and consume, and you only pay for what you consume. PSTN and calling. That's really, we do SIP trunking. If you're not familiar with SIP trunking, that's session initiation protocol. That's where you're tying to like existing phone systems or phone systems in the cloud. So we have that capability. And also programmable voice. So being able to control telephony, but with like a Lambda function or a serverless function, which is pretty neat. And lastly, our messaging and chat capability. So we recently released what's called Elastic Channels. So you can have up to 1 million users in a particular channel for chat. So you can use kind of all these either individually or combined to build some interesting things. But what does this really mean to you and your business? I think the key here is, number one, what I mentioned before, is it's allowing you to take communications and build them into your apps. Not unlike Amazon Connect, it's not leaving that what you've built, right? What you're experts in. If it's financial, if it's education, being able to just have a button there to click, and now you're in that communication. So I think that's one of it. The other thing is communications are kind of difficult, right? I mean, if you've been in this world, keeping a call to sound good and have low latency, and you're able to leverage the breadth and depth of AWS, and we have 18 media regions. So for example, if you have a call or a meeting going on near Singapore, you can put that meeting near Singapore so that you don't have the speed of light challenge, right, of latency around the world. So you're able to, what that means is really we take away some of that heavy lifting of the media, allowing you and your builders to focus on what you do best, not necessarily have to go and hire a team of experts to figure out how to do WebRTC or voice. And really what makes this exciting to me kind of now and going forward is some of our hooks into other AI/ML or artificial intelligence and machine learning. So being able to get analytics and get more insights out of those interactions. And that's also similar to Amazon Connect from a contact center perspective, where it's not just a call anymore. If it's doctor visit, doctor patient, and you're able to do screen pops for the physician of different medications that maybe they should think about as the patient is talking and saying the symptoms they have. So it's being able to extend not just, like I said, communication one-to-one, but in the future using the AI/ML capabilities. So reduce costs, remove the heavy lifting. That's kind of what we're about with the Amazon Chime SDK. And back to Enid.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
So I just would like to come back what you saw in the demo. So as you recall, Joe was going to do, he's renewing his license, as you have in the left, which use Amazon Connect, gather the information and get in the queue. And then you have the agent that was available to do that interaction with him. So what is happening behind the scenes is this is powered by Amazon Connect and Amazon Chime SDK. And I would like to talk a little bit more what is happening behind the scenes in the architecture itself. Do we have technical support teams or architects in the room? Good.
We have a few.
So you're gonna like the slide then, so you can see what is happening from technical perspective. If you're not technical, don't worry, I will explain in plain English what is happening and how these services work together. So your customer will engage into your contact center either by voice, chat, any other channels that you have with them, like the web chat and so on. When this is happening, will be triggering the contact flows that you have in your contact center, identifying what is the right skill that this person is calling for, what kind of services we have, and you assign to the right agent. So at that point, you go to the agent, which can be located anywhere. So we specify here remote agent, but he or she could be in the office, in the house, in a remote location, as long as they have internet access, able to do this connection with your customer. When you do this interaction and the agent knows now, okay, Joe is calling to renew the license, I need to identify his identity. How do I go do that? So as per my process, I will go and then I need to do a video conference. What's happening in that point is Amazon can realize, okay, I need to talk to Amazon Chime SDK to do that interaction with the video conference. But you need something to communicate them. And what we use is AWS Lambda. As Joe mentioned, this is a serverless service which runs on code. And what it's doing here is doing that communication between Amazon Connect and Amazon Chime SDK, say, okay, we need to start this video conferencing, which will be in the agent desktop for the agent perspective, and it will be doing that conference with the agent itself. So as you can see, we have basically 3 main services that is powering you to have this video conference interaction with your customers. So that said, today we showed how you can do a license renewal, but you can have other use cases, which Joe will be talking a little bit more, and expand these services on it.
Sure, yeah. Like Annette said, these are just a few. Verification. We've done things with remote proctoring, which is an interesting one. But what it comes down to is customer feedback. I mean, that's how we build these services. And what I find most interesting is the use cases that customers come up with. So these are just a few, but being able to use these type of services together is really up to you. So if you want to learn more, if you want your teams to learn more, that's a common question we both get as solutions architects is, well, how do I train my team? This all sounds great, but it's overwhelming. We do working backwards workshops, which essentially will meet with you and understand your needs and then figure out what the best type of training is. We also do immersion days and workshops where we'll come in either on in-person or virtual and talk about these services and what it means to your business outcomes. We do have some resources. You don't have to scribble the long URLs down here, but you'll get the presentation in the future. But we do have the example above. The top link is the demo that Enid built that we showed today that you could try out on your own. A little bit more on Amazon Connect, Amazon Chime SDK, and AWS Lambda. That's our serverless compute. And some customer references. So, who else has done this like me, in the space, right? Or do you know how to work in public sector or education? Here's where you can see some of our customers. And specifically, we added Amazon Connect Canada because we're in Ottawa. I'm from the States, so I had to make that comment. And we'd like to open it up for questions. We do have some time left, so how to work is, if you have a question, just raise your hand, and we have a couple of mic runners, our hosts here, who will come up and so we can hear you and everybody can hear you. So do we have any questions in the room?
Have you measured the impact that it's had on customer satisfaction as well as employee satisfaction from more than just anecdotally? Do you have any statistics on that?
Yeah, for customer satisfaction, you are able to do some surveys and integrate it within the system. We have, you're able to do, for example, leverage tasks to have those results and assign to a supervisor or an agent so they can take some actions after the survey is coming through. So there are also there's some blogs as well that show you how to do the surveys for customer satisfaction after the calls or the interaction. So it doesn't have to be a voice, right? It can be chat, voice, depending on the interaction they have. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's two kind of components from the Amazon Chime SDK perspective where we can look from a technical side. We can see what's happening, like if the user's dropped off or disconnected from video, because of an issue for some reason on their laptop or whatever. So there's the technical side, and then there's the actual user engagement side. So a couple of customers I've had have built very interesting dashboards of asking questions post-call, for example, or monitoring a blend of the technical, what's going on in the call versus what is the feedback I'm getting from the customer. So anyway. Great, thank you. We have another one back there?
So sorry if you mentioned earlier, but I'm trying to understand the differentiation between the Amazon Connect APIs that you may have available to you there versus the SDK for Chime. I'm trying to understand if Amazon Connect's built at all using any of Chime's SDKs, and if there's two different offerings there for APIs for Connect. I'm just trying to differentiate what's available in both, and would the Chime SDK eventually become part of Connect, or is it always going to remain a sort of separate offering?
Can I start?
You want to start on that one?
So Amazon Connect, Amazon Chime SDK are AWS services, and they complement each other. So it really depends what your workflow is, what your use case is that you would like to do. For example, if you're going with your contact center and you want to add more interactions, another channel as video is, then we say, okay, let's leverage Amazon Chime SDK to complement what I'm already doing with Amazon Connect, and you're able to report with queues, assign by queues, and so on. Now, when we're talking about Amazon Chime SDK, if you're looking to do, conferencing, you don't really thinking about like a contact center. You're doing, for example, broadcasting for education, let's say, for a class. So you don't really need that Amazon Connect component because you don't need them to be in queue, you don't need them to be reporting as a service. You need to provide a class to students, and then you're able to do with Amazon Chime SDK all the capabilities that Joe talked about it. Mm-hmm. You would like to expand a little bit on Amazon Chime SDK?
Sure, yeah, no, that's a great explanation. Yeah, I mean, I like to think of it as, if you look at our database offering, for example, I'm not sure I could even, being a specialist with the Chime SDK, I could name all the database options, right? And so there are some areas where it looks like there might be overlap, right? And I think it really depends on your use case, and that's the same thing you might, like if you were speccing out, well, should I use RDS or Aurora on AWS, right? It's the same type of thing where your solutions architect sort of will help you, but I think from a high level, the Amazon Chime SDK is much more builder-based, component-based. Like at a lower level, you have developers who want to go build something and private label versus Amazon Connect. Yes, it does have the API suite, right? If you want to build into yours, but it also is a fully encapsulated. I don't want to call it app, but it's different, right? It's similar but different. I guess one more example is from our PSTN and telephony offerings in Amazon Chime SDK versus Connect. You could actually go and build like an IVR, meaning like, press 1 for this, press 2 for this, right? You could do that essentially with our programmable voice, but it would be completely from scratch versus you do that on Connect, and you have a builder and you have, a web GUI, right? And for some customers, they want to be able to build it from scratch for a specific use case to use it with a custom-built asterisk PBX in the cloud, right? And that might not work with Connect, right? The Connect is more of a, I don't want to say user-friendly, but it's a forward-facing user experience. So hopefully that answers your question. They live in their own space, and it's up to us as solutions architects and your account teams to really help differentiate and say which one is good for this, and which sometimes, like our demo, it makes sense to use both at the same time, right? Because at this very time there's actually no video in Connect, so that's why we did this.
I have two questions. The first one, can you please confirm whether Amazon Connect is available and hosted in Canada? And the second question is how these two services can be extended or integrated to also include chatbot.
Amazon Connect is available in Canada Central 1, which is the Canada region, with the capabilities that we showed today. And the second question for Amazon Chime SDK, could you repeat that question, please?
I think it was about chatbots, right?
The chatbot. Yeah. Yes, you are able to integrate. So when you're talking about the chatbot, is that self-service that you have in front, that you're able to do it, for example, with Amazon Lex, that is the natural language service that we provide. It is natively integrated with Amazon Connect. So you're having all your chatbot, you can have it in the same services that you are providing, and you will have either your interactions in voice, chat, or the channel of your preference that you will be using on it. Yeah.
Hi there. So while watching the presentation, I was trying to distinguish the Amazon Connect and the SDK, and I think I have a better understanding of it. However, for the authentication, is it through video, or is it through audio, or is it through the conjunction of both? And if so, could you use SDK to add more authentication, for example, like a code, if it's a repeat customer that they would also add in there? Just because I know there's deep fakes and such that are starting to come up now, especially with these big companies. If we're going to go, let's say, for Microsoft, there might be partners or companies that they deal with that they want to make sure it's like 110% authenticated. So can you add more things with the SDK on top of the video and audio authentications?
Might be good to start with the voice authentication from Connect, and then I could talk a little bit about the video.
Yeah.
Voice ID, sorry. Is
Voice
that what it's
ID,
called?
yes. So Amazon Connect has the ability to do authentication by voice, which means when you are talking, you authenticate based on your speech and how you talk. So that's powered by Amazon Connect Voice ID. That what it does is, gather the voice and kind of analyze in real time and ensuring that who is speaking is the right person to be authenticated. And then when it comes to Amazon Chime SDK, then I will guess Joe will answer that piece.
Yeah, it's an interesting question because, like, to your point about the deep fakes and being able to create a human that looks quite a lot like, or not a human that looks like a human, right? We do have the ability. We've had customers who have sent the real-time video, like let's say a frame every few seconds, to Amazon Recognition. And analyzed it there, and then used. I think it's a combination of that plus other techniques, because you really probably can't rely on just one. But today we don't have an authentication built into our video service, but it's a really interesting thought. So I'll bring that back to the team. So how we can maybe do more with that.
Yeah, we're always looking for the customer feedback to improve the services. And just to add to Joe, with Amazon Recognition, you're able to do automated identification. So today, we were just seeing it. Okay, this is picture, this is Joe, and we have the agent just doing the authentication. So with Amazon Recognition, you will be able to, if you would like to do automation there. But again, we need to do a little bit more and work on the authentication piece itself.
You already have my mind going, right? As an solutions architect, I'm like, well, maybe if you built a model and recognition that would look for some of the aspects of the deep fake,
He's already building for you here.
Exactly. Where's my whiteboard, right? Cool. Any other questions? Great.
Oh, okay.
I think we just, you want to talk about these last two?
Thanks. So just a reminder, we have AWS Skill Builder where you can go and do self-training. So there are a lot of training for Amazon Connect and Amazon Chime SDK. You can build a lot of things that you have interest on for your contact center. And also you have interest on, get an AWS certification. These are available to use. So these are, the main ones with the associate and professionals certifications that you have. And with that, I would like to thank you for coming today. It was really good to be here and explain to you how Amazon Connect, being an omni-channel contact center, you are able to integrate with other channels as Voice is, which is powered by Amazon Chime SDK. So I hope this was helpful for you, and you will be able to implement it in your contact center. So thank you.